So I have a theory that if you ever do something really impressive and you try to film it, your camera is guaranteed not to work. I must have done pretty well on my third and fourth flight lessons. So unfortunately, at the very beginning of my third flight lesson, I was putting something in the back of the airplane and I accidentally knocked the GoPro mount down. And then I forgot to push record on my camera as well, so I have no footage of my third flight, but I did want to talk a little bit about some of the things we did. So the main focus of my third flight was doing steep turns, and the really difficult part about steep turns is trying not to gain or lose altitude. I learned that one of my big problems was that sometimes I would try to cheat using the VSI. It turns out if you're using the VSI to determine if you're going up or down, you're really hurting yourself and it's never going to work. And I thought about sharing a couple reasons for that in this video, but actually I think it's a big enough topic that I'm going to make a whole video just about how not to use the VSI. So if you see a link up there, then that means I finished making that video. If not, then it's coming soon, and I'll put a link in the description too. So after the steep turns, we did some power off stalls, and I did alright, but one thing that Justin picked up on was that I was really trying to rush things too much. So what he had me do was just do it all really intentionally slow. So I'd stall, get to the brake, and then put the nose down. Wait a second, retract the first notch of flaps. Wait a second, put the power on, or it might have been power and then flaps probably, but the point was we just really slowed it all down, and I think it actually helped me a lot. My fourth flight lesson, somehow the files got corrupted, but I do at least have video from my phone, so I don't have any video out of the cockpit, but I do have videos of our faces. So I'm just gonna kind of show you some of the highlights from that, and I'll try to keep it brief. It might not be that brief. Video editing is really hard.
Fox traffic, Cherokee 903 Whiskey Papa on the ground, taxiing to runway 24. There we go.
Got my sunglasses today. Finally.
Alright. We'll both be able to see today. That'll be a new experience.
Yeah, you got a taxiway coming up right here.
Uh-huh.
Let's say, hypothetically, a truck pulls out in front of you, and you got to stop real quick. What are you going to do?
Idle and brake.
Well, let's just do it. I
Okay.
just want to get you in the habit of doing it. That way you don't, yeah, that way, perfect.
Alright.
Yeah, like developing the actual movements.
So before we took off, we talked a little bit about what's known as the impossible turn. Basically, that's when you try to make a 180 during engine failure right after takeoff. A lot of people have made the mistake of trying to turn back when they weren't high enough to. But Justin pointed out to me that it's not just straight ahead or turn around. You have a gradual widening of options the higher you are.
So the way I say it is, below 500 feet, you're limited to this 20-degree left or right area in front of you. Above 500 feet, it starts to widen.
Okay.
So, in this airplane, it might not be that bad. So, above 500 feet, maybe call it 90 degrees heading change that you can make before you need to be lining up for the landing.
Uh-huh. Now, realistically, right now, if there's any failure, I know exactly what I need to do. I say your airplane, and then,
Copy.
and then it's up
Good
to
call.
you.
Good call.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
Fox traffic, Cherokee 903 Whiskey Papa, departing to west runway 24, Fox traffic. Alright, we got 24, 24, 24, everything matches, and let's go. And I'm going to try to stay somewhere near the runway this time.
Right pedal there to keep you on the center line.
Okay, airspeed is alive, oil pressure is good.
Fuel pressure looks good.
55, we'll rotate.
So let's try today if you want to. We'll try to fly, as you pass 5,000, start to lower the nose, but just let it, don't try not to go above 56.
Okay.
But then, as you are around 5,500, start to drop the nose a bunch, and then you can get to your airspeed quicker.
So what he's saying there is if you do a normal climb where you just stop as soon as you hit your right altitude, then you're going to be kind of slow and you get the airplane all trimmed out for that airspeed. But as you are going along, you'll be accelerating and you need to trim again, and you'll kind of be trimming for a while. What he's recommending is that I go a little above the altitude and then dive a little bit. That way I get up to my cruise speed more quickly and then just trim once. It's really just one way to do it, but even if that's not how you plan to do your regular climb, it's not a bad idea to at least know about it. That way if you accidentally overshoot your altitude on your check ride, you can tell the examiner that that's what you were trying to do.
If you go more than 100 feet high, the examiner will be like, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Uh-huh.
But if you use it at 50, or at least target 50, that way you maybe have a story.
All right.
By then you'll have figured it out anyway, so.
Okay. hopefully.
Hopefully. Pretty green out today.
Yeah.
Not bad for a desert.
Nope.
Springtime, our 1 week of spring.
I bet the poppies look cool from the air when it's...
Yeah, they're starting to come in.
I see a little orange.
Yeah, so I've been distracting you with this
I know,
conversation.
good job distracting me. Start leveling off now. Should have started leveling off a little before.
Yeah, keep the
When you
power.
pull
Drop
power.
that nose. You're not to cruise pitch attitude, right? Don't let the nose come back up.
It wants to.
I know, why?
We'll go ahead and give some down trim right now, and we'll do a better trim when I'm...
Yeah, that works. There you go. That looks like a better pitch attitude.
Alright. Alright, we'll do a 360 to the left here.
Okay.
Alright. Oh, actually climbed a bit there.
Yeah. It happened before you started turning, but that's alright.
Oh, okay.
You can get back down to 5,000 in the turn.
I'm sure I will.
Alright, there's your heading. Start to roll out. Push. Don't let that nose come up. See how much it comes
Yeah,
up?
it came a bunch. And I'm climbing.
Yeah, are you watching out there?
No.
You should be. Well, or
I am
here,
now.
whatever you're using for your reference.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was watching. That was bad on me. Alright. Oh, I got caught.
Only because if you're watching out there, you wouldn't be having this problem. And here comes your heading. Very nice. Don't forget to push a little bit. Unless you're low, then you know.
That was a little low.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's try the steep one.
Okay. We'll go left first.
Okay. Think you're gonna lose it.
Yep. Nope.
Oh, you got it back. Good job.
Alright. And
Make angles good.
just barely before
You're a little.
before the DPE would have.
Yeah, you're a little
Perfect.
overbanked, so that's just
Okay.
hurting you. It's intolerance, but there's no reason to be that steep.
Okay.
Just makes it harder. Got it. Alright, here comes your heading.
Alright.
Start the roll out.
Roll out here.
Push.
Push.
Roll faster.
One more push.
There you go.
And
Straight to
then
the
right
other
into
direction.
the
Clear right.
Pull.
Yeah. Nice. Little high on the nose, I think, but not by much.
Okay.
There you go. Right there. Oh, little low now.
Oop. A little low. A little
A little
more.
steep, yeah.
Oh. Alright, we're gonna.
There you go.
And a little late on the roll
Yeah,
up.
there you go. Don't forget the push. Well, you were pretty
That was low.
Okay.
So that was intentional.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
Alright.
Let's,
It wasn't quite within the
no,
standards.
That's fine. That's fine. We got time to work on that.
Uh-huh.
Let's do some stalls then. Approach stall.
Carb heat on. Power to idle. Hold our
Don't forget
altitude.
flaps. You're plenty in the white arc, so.
Alright. Go to full flaps.
Yeah, there you go.
Sun's going now. And when we break, I'll go power, carb heat, down, and first notch flaps.
Okay.
There we
There's the brake.
go.
Power, carb heat, flaps.
That was probably too much nose down.
Not just barely.
Alright.
It was tolerable. There's your positive rate of climb.
Alright, we can go.
Approach flaps or take off flaps. Yeah.
Did you see me just nail that stall?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty good.
Alright.
So let's do departure stall now.
So the recovery procedure to a power on stall is actually a little simpler because all you need to do is put the nose down. However, the whole thing is actually a lot more difficult than a power off stall because as you're approaching that stall, you have a really high nose attitude and you need a lot of right rudder. And because of that and the high power, you're much more likely to develop a spin. If you're uncoordinated when you stall, then that causes one of your wings to drop, and then you end up in this spiraling, spinning path, and then you die. Okay, in most cases you can recover just fine as long as you're up high enough, which we were. In this video, you'll see that the right wing does drop, and I start to say, oh, we're spinning, but we recover pretty quickly with a little left rudder, and we're just fine.
I meant reduce the pitch
Reduce
attitude.
pitch attitude. Alright.
There it is. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go.
whoa, spin.
Yeah.
No.
Nope, you're good.
Alright.
The problem is you're not getting to the brake, because you're not pulling very fast.
Okay.
So we end up hanging out there.
So we're in that
right.
kind of stalled
Right.
position for too long.
So you want to just get to the brake and then recover.
Okay. Go up.
A little high on.
A little high.
Yeah, you're using your
Alright. You don't want to do a
using
loop?
the inertia. So So just do it gradually. You want to slow your airspeed down gradually.
Okay.
We did like a zoom climb there.
All right.
We were like 10 degrees higher. Right? Pitch attitude on that.
Oh, you told me to get to the brake
keep
faster.
Pulling, yeah. Now that you're in the stall warning, go ahead and keep pulling.
Okay.
Pull nose up. Pull nose up. Get to the brake.
Oh, we can hear the. Hey, that's the first time I
brake.
really felt like I.
Yeah, nice.
That's the first time I feel like I really felt buffeting.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
And let's do some rectangular patterns. So let's start its descent. So this is like, we're at an airport in a traffic pattern.
All right.
So let's say the runway's on the other side, and we'll be landing 24.
Okay.
Well, out here it's more like 27-ish.
But we'll pretend that's runway 24.
So right here we're on our left downwind.
Okay.
And we'll just fly level at 4,000. We're midfield left downwind to runway 27. And so, typically what we do here is we've been talking to the tower, and we'd say Fox Tower, 903 Whiskey Papa's midfield left downwind 27, touch and go. And then he'd say 93 Whiskey Papa, clear to land 27, or clear the option 27. Let's just use 24 since that's less confusing.
All right.
It won't show 24, but that way we'll.
But at least that's what I'm used to hearing.
And so here we're a beam, and so what we would do at a beam, we're not going to do it, let's talk through it.
Okay.
A beam, you're going to do initial power reduction, so we would be at 2,000 maybe, and 90. That's what we would have been at.
Should I go ahead and make a left here, though, since we're kind of leaving the solar panels behind here?
Oh, that's fine, because the runway is that edge over there.
Okay.
There's a bunch of power lines on our runway. That's not the ideal.
Terrible runway. All right. Someone should really talk to the airport manager about that.
So this 4,000, we'll just do this, and we'll fly a rectangular pattern around this solar field.
Okay.
Talking about the runway environment as we go.
Okay.
So you can see the runway over there, hopefully. Below you. It's off the below.
Can't quite see it.
I think well, maybe we're passing. No, it's straight down.
Yeah, it's straight down, which is why I can't see it.
No, that's fine. You can see it if you look straight down.
All right.
So that's the whole point. If you look down, when you're doing the rectangular pattern, right, you want to be able to see that road off your left thigh there. This field's not big enough. Let's pick a different field. So let's assume we're lining up for the runway here, and you're gonna want to fly a little to the right of it so that you can see it below you, right?
All right. Yeah.
I'm kind of combining two exercises here, which is maybe confusing.
Kind of patterns and ground reference maneuvers in one, but I get what you're saying though.
And if you look at your road down there, can you see it?
There. Yeah, I can see it.
I think we got a crosswind out of the east, so it's blowing you towards it right now.
All right,
so you can crab to the right.
Yeah. There.
If we do have a wind out of the east, we'll have a tailwind, so ground speed a little higher. Yeah.
And then I'll have to turn a little bit further than
over
90
30 degrees there. Like if you look right where the wing root is, that'll give you your best reference for cross track.
Okay.
Because in a very light wind, it's pretty subtle.
Okay.
Today it's pretty light too, but if you're banking too much, maybe you're turning too late.
Turning too late, I think that's what it is.
Now, if the engine quit right now, what do we do?
Well, we've got power lines there. I'd probably just try to shoot for. That field's kind of too close.
Yeah, where's the wind?
And plus the wind's there, so maybe I just try to do a 180 and land kind of right below where we are right now.
Oh, that's the road with the big power lines on. So that one over there has smaller power lines on it. Maybe a better option, but you got the right idea. How you feeling with this rectangular pattern exercise?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but I feel like I'm doing all right.
Cool. Getting bored yet?
I'm not bored.
That's good. We can do a turns about a point.
Okay.
Which is a little more challenging. Let's fly towards that round field. Now let's start the turn.
Yeah.
Let's shoot for a 30-degree bank angle first. No more than 30 degrees.
Okay.
So now as we turn, the wind is going to start blowing you into it.
So I'll go a little more.
Yep. So you delay.
A little shallower here, a little steeper.
Exactly.
There. All right.
Remember, as we go through the turns, you're looking out your nose out there, because that's what I'm looking at, and I can see what you're doing.
All right.
So we're aiming for the center of this square, looking pretty good. Wind's from the left now, so we're gonna need to bring it back around for the crab angle. You know, as you're turning from downwind to base or base to final or any of those pattern turns, this is kind of what you're doing, right? You're looking at your nose, making sure you're maintaining airspeed. You know, if we're downwind to base, we'd be in a descent, so the nose is lower, but you're keeping that spacing through the turn, and that's really what's going to save your ass when you're distracted, and or you look down or you look up and you notice you've been blown past final and you go to correct to get back onto the final. That's that graveyard spiral turn. Knowing where your nose is at all times is kind of your biggest ally in maintaining proper airspeed. All right, let's head back to the airport. Yep.
Okay.
You can finish this turn.
Okay.
Then we'll start to correlate this with that, right?
All right.
And your choice on heading.
Yeah,
Meaning
right
that you're
into the
flying
sun.
straight into the sun.
Hey, it's easy to see.
That's
You
true.
know where you're going, right?
You know if you're on
Just go
your
to the
heading or
sun.
not. Yeah, you got that
When I'm
timing.
blind, I know I'm going the right
There
way.
you go. So you have a tendency to turn left all the time.
Okay.
That's why I keep doing this.
Alright.
So just keep this pointed at the runway or at the airport for now. So you can transmit at your pleasure.
All right. So I'll say Fox Tower Turkey 903 Whiskey Papa.
Yep, so you're turning left.
Yep. All right.
Quit turning left.
All right. Oh. Okay. All right. I'll say Fox Tower Turkey 903 Whiskey Papa. I'm the crazy one who keeps turning left. Fox Tower Turkey 903 Whiskey Papa near Little Buttes 4,200 with Papa to land.
Cherokee 93 Whiskey Papa Fox Tower, make right traffic runway 24, report downwind midfield.
Report downwind midfield, right traffic 24, Cherokee 3 Whiskey Papa.
I don't know if it's because I don't know if the yoke's not quite level, like in level flight. Yeah, kind of. So you probably want to. Maybe that's what's throwing you off.
I'm happy to blame the airplane. Fox Tower Cherokee 903 Whiskey Papa is on the right downwind runway 24.
21. 21 and 90. 21. Yep, there you go. Trim. You're way out of trim.
Yeah, I'm way out of trim.
That's all right. I got your throttle.
So before we took off, I talked with Justin about how I was feeling really overwhelmed when we're on final and that it was difficult for me to manage everything at once. And he suggested that he just take the throttle. Just taking one thing away makes it a lot easier for me to handle the rest. It's a little bit like if you could juggle 3 balls, but you can't juggle 4, and you'll be juggling 3 just fine, and then someone throws you a 4th ball, and you might think that they just dropped that 4th ball, but usually what happens is you drop all 4 balls. That's kind of what was happening here. Managing the throttle was just one extra thing that caused me to just be overwhelmed. When you take that out of the picture, I'm able to handle the other stuff a lot better. And I was thinking this would be a good time to put like a little visual aid in here of me juggling 3 balls and then trying to juggle 4 and dropping them. But I forgot that I can't juggle 3 balls either. I can juggle 1 ball, but that's not really juggling.
Number 3 Whiskey Papa Fox Tower runway 24, cleared option wind calm.
Cleared land, runway 24, 3 Whiskey Papa.
Perfect. Look at that. 90, 21. Oh, we're a little. That's my fault. All right, there's a beam, so we can do the initial power reduction. I'm going to use 18 to try it for. And so now in the turn, you want to keep that pitch attitude. As we turn, if you let it drop, we're going to lose a bunch of altitude. If you let it come up, we're going to lose a bunch of airspeed.
All right.
You go ahead and start the turn. So watch that pitch attitude.
All right.
Don't let it come up too high.
Around there?
That looks pretty good. You can verify with airspeed. They're looking
Alright.
for slowing to 80 now.
Slowing to 80.
And then this looks good, right? Because we need a little bit of a.
Second notch flaps?
Yep. I'll work throttle for you.
Okay, thanks.
Keep that 80. Yep, there we go. Start the turn to final now, nice and shallow. Yeah, this is looking good. Last notch of flaps when you can get it. 70 is our speed on final, no slower than 70.
All right.
Remember that as we get low, you're going to want to pull, but try not to.
All right.
Increase power. Come back to center line. Come to the right a little bit, yeah. 70. 70. Yep, okay, now
Halfway.
power to idle. Round out to level pitch attitude first and just hold it there.
All right.
And now start to bring the nose up.
Ooh, side motion there, but.
Okay, you're about to see my most embarrassing radio call I've ever made. On my first flight, when the tower told us to take the next taxiway, Justin replied with which taxiway we're going to take, and I thought that was pretty cool, so I decided to start doing that on my radio calls as well. Problem is, I had no idea which taxiway we were close to, so I just kind of mumbled that I have no idea where I am.
Cherokee 3 Whiskey Papa, taxi to parking this frequency.
We'll take a. Dang, I'm grabbing. We'll take off for 3 Whiskey Papa. That was
Just
embarrassing.
taxi with this frequency is all you gotta say.
Alright.
Okay, number 3 Whiskey Papa, second.
Taxi this frequency.
Taxi this frequency, 3 Whiskey Papa. Well, that was beautiful.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Obviously, I'll need to do the throttle on my own, but that helped me be a lot less overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I think that was good.
Now that's and that's what we'll do initially as we start doing pattern work. Definitely that one axis takes it out of your or lightens your workload a lot, right?
Yeah, I was able to think a lot more about all the other things I have to do instead of trying to think about everything at once. So
You just gotta think about airspeed.
Well, I feel good about that. That was my best lesson yet. We did some stalls that I feel like I did well on. We did turns that I'm still having a little bit of altitude control problems, but a lot better than last time. The steep turns, same thing. And then we got to do ground reference maneuvers, which I felt like for a first time I was pretty proud of what I did. So overall pretty good. Also Justin helped me out on the throttle on the landing this time, which really helped free me up to focus more on the other things, and I feel like it wasn't perfect, but I feel like it went pretty well, so I'm really excited and hope that next flight goes well too.